What's up guys, it's Brian back with another Mixtalk Monday video from MachineMasters.com. Today I'm going to be talking about a cool way that you could get your 808s and your sub basses to really cut through a mix. It's been pretty popular. Kanye West uses it a lot, and I know that in today's whole trap world, trap rap and things like that, artists like Gucci Mane and Desiigner and stuff like that, they're using it non-stop. It's a very subtle effect, although you can abuse it, which also happens a lot. And when you abuse it, you actually get a cool effect out of it as well. You'll hear it a lot on 808s and Heartbreaks and albums that have that kind of feel to it. So without further ado, I'm gonna hop on the screen. I'll show you guys how to do it. Alright, so what's up guys? I got this session open from a client of mine. He's a producer and he is going back and forth between these beat showcases. And I thought that this instrumental would be a perfect example of how I got his 808 kick right here to cut through. Really, all it is just a sub bass. It's even just probably not even, yeah, it's not even really a kick. I'm going to solo it out for you. I'll play the whole beat for you, and I'll get rid of the distortion that I put on the 808 sub so you could hear what exactly the sub sounds like right now. So take a listen. Alright, so you could hear right off the bat that it kind of has that sort of old school, even sort of newer school Kanye West kind of feel of the instrumental as a whole. So, I don't know if you noticed, it's probably dependent on what kind of listening situation you're listening on, whether you're on monitors or headphones or whatever. But the kick drum was overpowering this sub bass, and it's not even an issue as far as making the transients pop out of the kick drum or the faders being adjusted to make it cut through more. It's just a matter of the fact that this sub bass is not cutting through enough. So that's where this tutorial comes into play. Harmonic distortion on sub basses is a godsend, and it really works to the fullest potential if you know how to use it. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that today. The whole purpose of it is to boost and drive those upper harmonics of a sub bass to make it so that way the higher harmonics of the sound source itself is going to be crushing through the mix and really pushing through compared to the bass frequencies of it. So right now this is bypass. I'm going to solo this out. And I'm going to play this for you, bypass, and then halfway through I'll unbypass it so you could hear what I'm talking about. Also, this is a distortion plugin from the Waves Manny Marroquin bundle. It's a really cool distortion, but you can use any distortion on this, so don't be confused by the distortion that I'm using. So take a listen. So you can see just by me turning a few knobs, sliding the little things up and down, you could get to a bunch of different cool little distortion effects on it. So by itself, it does sound a little funky, but when you're playing it in context, you do hear the noticeable difference. So I don't know if you noticed, but when I drag this distortion level fader all the way down, it's the same thing as a dry signal. And then as I bring it up, it's basically how much wet factor is being brought into the mix. So let me just slide this up for you slowly so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's as simple as that.
next thing, I'm just going to go through all these different elements of what this plugin is showing. And a lot of the times with the different harmonic distortion plugins that you'll be using, you'll be coming across a lot of the similar features of this. Maybe not an attack or release, but for the most part, you'll be coming across all of these. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to touch on this attack knob. You could hear in this sample itself, the 808 kick drum that's in there is cutting through a little bit, and I don't really want the distortion on that so much. So I'm just going to turn the attack a little slower, so that way that 808 kick drum could come through before this distortion turns on and activates. And then release, I'm just going to keep right in the middle. Just so that way it has a smooth kind of tailoring off effect whenever the distortion turns off. Direct level, I'm going to keep full just because I want that dry signal as well so we don't lose the sub aspect of the bass. And then once we get into mixing this in, I'm going to slowly bring this distortion level. So that takes care of this top little red, amberish looking section. Down here, this is where the harmonics come into play. I'm not really going to be messing around with the bass frequencies too much because, as I said earlier, what you want to focus on is driving those higher frequencies, the mids and the trebles a little bit compared to the bass, so that way you could really push the presence into the sub. So for this example, you saw me messing with it a little bit earlier before. When these mids and trebles are put up too high, you actually run into a little bit of an issue with it being too much treble frequencies. So right here sit pretty well for me. And then the drive knob, if you're not familiar with what drive is, it's how much you're driving the preamps. Well, in this situation, the digital preamps or whatnot, and how much of the distortion effect you're actually going to get. Usually the lower it is, the warmer the distortion is, the higher it is, the more edgy the distortion is, the more crunch you get. I found that right around here for when I was just spinning stuff around. Right here was sitting well with the mix. So now we're going to unsolo this, and I'm actually going to turn that that sub up a little bit just for the sake of mixing it in, and I'm going to slowly bring this distortion level fader up as we play through. So let's do that right now. So you can obviously hear the huge difference. It adds a lot of characteristics to the sub itself, and it does give it a cooler character and more personality to the sound. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm going to go hop on the other side of the camera now.
Alright, so there you have it. It's a piece of cake. It's actually a really simple thing to do. Just throw some harmonic distortion on it, boost those high ends of the actual sub itself or the harmonics as well. And just like that, you got your sub cutting through the mix. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and all of that fun jazz. And until next Monday, I will talk to you guys soon.